So you are guaranteed a 50% chance of going to the Super Bowl if you are an NFL player that plays on the team with Tom Brady.
Yep.
I will rent my mother out for a day to get a position. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Spikes and Heels. I'm Gwen.
I'm Sabrina.
And we just so delighted and grateful to have you with us. I have to start the show off with a huge apology to my children. In the previous episode, I made a comment about how rough it was raising them. It wasn't them that made it rough. It was being a single parent that made it rough. My children are lovable. They're good people. I love them. They love me. I just got confused and I'm thinking about all the emotion I had. But being a single mom, having two sons playing for two different teams and this daughter doing gym and that daughter doing art, I was stretched. Right. So it was very tiresome. But being their mom was the best job I ever had in my life. And I'm looking forward to being a grandma more times over. I'm looking forward to me growing older with my children. As they getting older, they're turning into such phenomenal people. I just love being around them. So again, I apologize to my babies. Would I do it all over again? Of course. But I wish I had what I had now then. And I would have had even more fun. So love you so much. And mommy apologizes. So what we're going to talk about first, let's hit it and quit it with our team first.
All right, go ahead.
As we called it, he gone.
He gone. That boy gone. And we knew he was going to be. Alex Smith is who we're talking about. Yeah. So it's funny because Gwen and I both said that we were not Alex fans when they brought him here. We were like, who? Why? But he showed us like who he was. He showed us his tenacity and his fortitude. And when he was leading, we were leading the division every time. Every time he was our quarterback, we were leading the division. So I can't say nothing bad about Alex. Be glad he got the Comeback Player of the Year award. And now he's out to market, as they say, on the market. Another reference to
you think somebody gonna pick him up?
Yeah, they're talking about the Bears maybe picking him up. A lot of people are saying maybe the Bears, but we don't know.
Wait a minute. Don't they have Foles and the Trubisky dude?
I know they have Trubisky. I don't know if Foles is there or not, but
okay.
Yeah, but a lot of people are saying Chicago. We don't know. I think somebody's gonna pick him up. Whether he'll start, I don't know, but I think he'll start. I even think he'll start.
I don't think he's starting in the NFL, Sabrina. So you telling me
you don't?
Whoa, because what team needs him that much? That's okay. The few teams that need a quarterback, Jacksonville getting one, they're getting Trevor. The situation that already worked itself out in many places. We about to get into all the quarterback shell game again. The only teams that may be in the market for one may be, I would say, the Saints, the Bears. But I feel like even with the Drash and Trubisky, maybe the Bears. You're right. Now that I'm running my mouth and thinking about it as I'm talking,
we'll see.
But I hope, man. See, I want him to be happy. I want him to live his life, Sabrina. But I'm totally against him start playing football. I just think, come on, dude, just sit it down. But he got to live his back. He got to do what he got to do for himself.
And as long as him and his wife agree to it, and they happy, what can you say? Like, I think everybody else around the world watching is like, you have proven your point, please.
Yes.
So anyway, he's no longer here. I feel like we parted on good terms with him. I don't think it was any love lost, and all the players were, putting their respect out there for him. I think he left a good mark here, but we got to move on. And I hope, because right now we just have Kyle Allen and we just have Six Pack. I hope that they just stick with that and just add one more for insurance and let Six Pack start. Please, Lord Jesus.
I saw so many people in all these football conversations, too many, if you ask me. Sometimes it's football overload. And so many of the experts, even Joe Theismann, was like, give him a chance. You're only going to gain and learn where you are. You can save so much money with the cap, and so much money because the cap is down this year.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
So it was like 191 million.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's down. I think it's like 180. You know, so that's even more money they can save. So I say give them a chance and see where we are. But you're right. I'm in total agreement with just letting this play out between them two. One more for insurance, like you said, but. So yeah.
All right. So thank you, Alex, for all you
Thank
did
you,
for us.
Alex. That's my dude forever right there. So I wish him all the best. I just want him to sit down, stop playing. Now look back. Come on now. Finally, he done got his contract. I just knew they was gonna franchise tag him again because if you listen to with them, they were so far from where they wanted to be. But he ended up getting his $40 million a year, which I think is $10 million too much per year, but I ain't the one getting the money.
See, to me, Jerry Jones baffles me because to me, this is the money Dak should have gotten like 2-3 years ago. Now
but that wasn't on Jerry because I looked back and did some research, Sabrina. Dak wanted a 5-year contract, and Jerry said, "No, I'm gonna give you a 4-year contract for that money." Dak wanted 5 years, and that's where the friction was. It was a $1 million difference, and it was 4 and 5 versus 5 years.
But I don't know that Jerry ever offered him 40. I think it was like 30.
It was close to 40. It was like 37.
Yeah. And I think of the 4 years and $40 million a year, it's 125 is guaranteed. So either way, if he break his ankle 2, 3, 4 more times, he got $125 million that no matter what. So I'm happy for him. I didn't think he was going to get it under these circumstances.
I didn't either.
He broke his ankle, y'all, so he was out for
a whole year just about.
Yeah, but I'm shocked, but I think I'm happy for him from a human standpoint. You got your contract, you got what you want, and now he's probably in this. All right, now let me work hard. I got to come back and show him I can do this. I'm worth this money. So now he's probably in I got to prove it mode.
He ain't going to. You
don't think so?
None of them live up to them huge contracts after they get it. We talked about this in the previous episode. I say it seemed like to me when they get these huge contracts and they lock in, they go to bust. They stop performing, they get injured, all this type of stuff. Because I think the incentive is there for them to prove themselves to get the money. But I think once they get the money, they just complacent, they get content. Like I have to bring him up again. Oh God! But TB12 never had this huge big contract, but he's always performed.
Right.
In a few years that they didn't go to the Super Bowl, at least they went to the title game and lost to somebody. And then the few years that they didn't even go to the title game, that was maybe out of his 20-year career, that happened maybe 3 times?
Something like that, not often.
Exactly. So I'm be like, not that I want him to exceed, because if he exceeds, then we lose. So I'm totally against him but I'm telling you, watch. It's gonna be a straight bust. Like Zeke got that big contract.
Zeke, I don't know what happened to Zeke. It's like he said, I'm still on the beach somewhere.
Because he got that money, Sabrina. You can't give normal people. Be honest with you. Imagine somebody just plopping $60 million on you, Sabrina. The deal alone will have me out of my mind. You know what I'm saying?
I would need a couple of days to digest it for sure.
Days. Yeah, I'm gonna be like, that money will have to start running out for me to go, okay, I got to build my bag back up. You know what I'm saying? I just think they get these huge contracts and they go, I got mine. $124 million guaranteed dollars.
Something like that.
Grandkids are set for life if he played his money right.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic right there. NFL players and how they do their money and how they don't do their money. We need to talk about that in another show, but yeah, you're right. He is set for life, and his kids and his grandkids and his dogs and everything.
Everybody.
So
I'm glad that the brother got what his just due. Now let's hope he tanks. Ain't no way. You could be glad he got the money. He ain't gonna perform. I'm gonna tell you that now. He not. That ankle gonna be tricky. The sure confidence to go back and plant your whole weight on that rickety ankle now, because once it's broke, Sabrina.
Why it's got to be rickety and tricky?
Rickety, because it's not the same. That's not the healthy ankle that God gave you. You have messed that up. It's not. They could put pins in it, but it's not gonna be like this. It'll be like, yeah.
Silly.
All the way, but man. I hope that money don't give him motivation. Because we in trouble. Now we got him and Tom to worry about in our conference.
Yeah, he's always been there anyway. So, but yeah, I just I look forward to next season. I think the NFC East is going to be more competitive than people give it credit for, because last year we stunk so much. Girl, I think this year we might sneak up on some people. We're going to see.
We're going to see, and I hope we leading the pack.
Girl, I hope so too.
Okay, Sabrina, check out this. Russell, we forgot to talk about this last week. This is a little old, but I want to bring it up. He had the audacity to say, "Yeah, I don't want to be traded, but if I'm going to do it, these are the 4 places I will end up." He said Raiders, Bears, Dallas, and Saints, right? New Orleans,
something like that.
Man, you out your mind. Now he gone. Now he Jupiter, Pluto gone. You get what I'm saying?
You mean mentally, or like he ain't gonna be on the
both?
Team? Wait, so you're saying you don't think he's gonna be on the Seahawks?
Sabrina, them people would be the craziest people on earth. Even though Russell had a bad year,
they're not letting him go.
Exactly. But this the thing though. I heard that they were fielding offers.
Oh, in other words, so if you make me the right offer, we might not be able to refuse.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
But because of that year he had this year, ain't nobody willing to give up the stupidest team that did that already did that with the Stafford trade. Ain't no more, excuse my French, dumb trades happening the rest of this year. You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So everybody else, even with Deshaun, we had this conversation. To me, it's worth 2 first-round picks this year and next year. You said no. Oh, I say 1 and 2 this year and let it go. I would take my hit in 1 year and let it go to get Deshaun if I needed a quarterback like the Jets do. I think Miami should, but 2 first-round, But Russell ain't had that type of year, and not too many teams willing to pay that amount. First, you got to finish out that big contract he had. So let's keep in mind, even though these people get traded, their contract that they're still in goes with them. So not only do you have to pay him almost $40 million, but you're going to have to give up some first-round picks. Nah.
And I'm just surprised from a character standpoint. That doesn't seem like him, because that's not like him to go out there and cause no type of friction. That's not his personality.
They said Pete Carroll's son, nepotism is going on in the front office because Pete Carroll's son are too much involved in the football stuff when they not football people. You know what I mean?
They just related to.
Exactly. And they just bumping heads like Russ. Everybody got a cutoff point. And I think something happened between, I was told that it was Pete Carroll's sons and Russell banged heads on some issues.
Probably. One of them trying to tell him what to do and don't know a pot from the kettle.
Exactly. And they think they got a free pass because their father is the head coach, not the owner. Now, you got Jerry Jones' son helps. They not the owner's son, say the head coach. Man, sit down. Y'all, you ain't got no clout. I would be like Russell too. Don't come with me with that. Go on somewhere with that. I'm going to take but this much. You get what I'm saying? Then you're going to get out my face. I would feel some type of way.
Yeah, I just think, like you said, that's a good point. It's stuff going on that we just don't know, didn't see, and it's coming to a head. But he's still going to be there. I think. He ain't
going nowhere.
Yeah, he ain't going nowhere.
He need to work on Kumbaya so everybody can get on one page, because I do believe Russell got another Super Bowl victory in him if they get that line together and they get some targets.
Yeah, I could see that.
He does.
See that.
Because he already should have to. We ain't going to bring that up again. Good God, man, gonna never, I don't know what in the world. That's remember Arsenio used to say things that make you go, that's gonna be always the top.
In the top few. Yeah.
Right now, the top right now, if you ask me. But anyway.
It's inexplicable. Anyway. Yeah. So that was Mr. Russell. So another quarterback that we need to talk about, which we have been talking about, and now it's been solidified, is Mr. Ben Roethlisberger. He has been re-signed by the Steelers for 1 year. And they restructured his contract so that it will work with the salary cap. Ben will be happy. And I think they said they're going to pay him over a 2-year frame or something like that. So it's not all at one time. It's like $7 million in 1 year and then $7 million in next year, even if he's not here. So I'm like, that was a fair way to structure it. But I just think it's prolonging the inevitable. Is that how you say it? Like, it's the train.
Total ways.
Yeah.
They're going to be 2 years behind everybody. Okay, let's just get real smart with this thing really quick. Look at their conference. They in a conference with the Ravens, the Cleveland, the Bengals, and the Steelers.
Oh, you mean the division?
I'm sorry. Look at the AFC North division.
Right.
Look at that. So they in a conference with three teams that got quarterbacks that's under the age of 27.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be 2 years behind in developing the person that should be coming up now because Ben is in place. There's no legitimate reason in my mind to keep him. I want to only hurt the Steelers' chances of winning. So all Steeler Nation, don't get mad this year coming up when y'all in last place. If the Bengals get
they probably are gonna be in last place. I never thought about that.
Some targets, they gonna be in last place. Yeah. I'm just sorry because they ain't solidified Juju's contract.
I was going to say that
money, and he also don't want to play with Ben. That's what I was told. Word through the grapevine. He was like, Ben was the reason they ain't go as far as they did this year. I'm out.
So one of his probably his biggest target is probably not going to be there. Yeah, they're going to be in third place at best.
Oh, at best.
At best.
The Browns and the Ravens filling that stuff. Barring COVID, the Ravens probably would have won that division if Lamar had two COVID teams.
Right.
So, and the Browns just look like contenders.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see what it look like this year coming up. I'm really going to be watching them. I really am. That's a huge mistake if you ask me.
Yeah, I think they're doing that out of loyalty, and maybe they just because they don't know what they want to do. Do you think they don't know who they want to really bring in to start? Because I don't think
focus on somebody and go and make that your option. You got to focus on sometimes. You got Rudolph and Haskins. Mm-hmm. I don't think Haskins has a football problem. He has a mental problem. Not when I say bad, I mean
no. I know what you mean. Right.
He has a focusing problem because the word on him was he didn't understand the plays and he was very immature. So I'm hoping being with Tomlin, they can relate and he can bring him up. And like I said, squire Ben for the rest of that little bit of time he had. And go back and watch how Tom did it, how Brees did it, how let's even go back to some really great. You never heard anything negative about Joe Montana. All that he was just a great. Go back and look and see how I'm telling you, he got it, Sabrina. It's just not here. He's immature.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm starting to see that you're right because I was hard on him, but I think that's true. He's immature. He was too busy getting caught up in the fame of it and the opportunity of it instead of studying his playbook. You're right.
In the middle of the game in the fourth quarter, who takes a selfie?
Missing the next play because you taking a selfie. Yeah, that's immature. So yeah, you're right. If he can get that mental together, that focus.
I would have focused on him. I would have just because keep it real. You ain't gonna do no better with Haskins in this year than Roethlisberger. Maybe you'll get 2 more wins. They ain't going to the playoffs. I'm gonna call it. If Juju out and they don't get nobody to come in and they ain't gonna make playoffs.
Yeah, I agree with that prediction you made. Yeah.
And maybe they'll give up on it and let it go. But I wish them the best because if I wasn't a Washington fan, I would definitely be a part of the Steeler Nation. Either the Seahawks or the Steelers. Definitely. I'm watching this with all 4 of my eyes. Because it's going to go down rough this year. It is not going to be pretty. I think they made a huge mistake. Yeah. And only time will tell.
Yeah, time. And that's the thing about, I love these videos that we do because we're talking all this stuff now. And a couple months from now, we're going to either be real right or real wrong. And I just can't wait to see.
Sabrina. We was wrong about half of the Super Bowl, but we ain't been too wrong about a lot of stuff because some of it just common sense if you know the game. This dude is old. It's slow. It's time for him to set it. You already done what you're going to be in the football. He's going to be a first ballot.
Wait, hold it. First ballot.
It's going to be a first ballot. Definitely, Sabrina.
Wait.
2 Super Bowls and his numbers. He going in first time.
I'm almost convinced of that. Yeah, first or second. Okay.
I give you second, but
Yeah.
he's gonna be in there.
Yeah. Oh, he's
Definitely. So live your life. Stop that money, and man. Maybe it's me being stuck in the house for a year, but man, I would buy me a whole half of a cheap island and be
right.
like, Jesus said, oh, I done did my. Their bodies ache and sore and pains we would never know.
Yeah.
You should hear some of the horror stories.
And I even look at their hands too, like some of the players' hands. Some of their fingers aren't straight. You know,
they done broke them, and then they come back like that,
and so their hands are just kind of permanently the finger. Yeah, and they probably go through pains like you said.
One of the saddest stories I ever heard of post-football life was the bus.
Oh, Jerome.
Yes, he said he couldn't barely get out of bed in the morning because he was on high cortisone shots, and if you take too much cortisone, that'll make you paralyzed. People don't know. Too much would do something to your muscles because your body not supposed to have long. Yeah, he said he could barely get out of the bed in the morning for the first couple of years because his body was in that much pain. He had to do pain therapy. Let it go. Nothing is worth. How you going to enjoy that all that money you scrounging and get?
Mm-hmm. And that's why I've always said, like my son, he's not in a sport right now, but I said no boxing and no football. If you have to play football, you're going to play on defense, not offense.
Yes.
Yeah. So
the defense seems to fare far better.
Mm-hmm.
I think you doing the hitting is better than getting hit. My sons both played football, and my youngest son was phenomenal at cornerback. I used to call him Baby Champ.
Okay.
And he even won Player of the Year a couple of years. Shout out to him. He knows what he's talking about. But and he is a cancer survivor. So I was very scared.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to play, and his dad was like, "This boy's going to live when you got to let him be normal." So I let him play at 10, and he was amazing.
Was he on off? Or you said that's Baby Champ?
He was the quarterback. They went to the championship on my baby. But nobody catching no balls on my baby.
Look at the mama coming out. Look at her getting excited.
You know, because he had an older the difference between the two boys, my two sons, is 3 years. But my oldest son was double the size of my youngest son because the chemo stunted his growth. But he had the heart of somebody big because he had a big brother that would rough him up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So yeah, it was hard, Sabrina. That's the hard. Even when they lose, you have to be prepared for that because that's going to happen. But to see your son and your kids get pummeled, punched, knocked down, scraped,
was your oldest on defense too? Did he play?
Yes, my oldest played, but my oldest was on offense. He hadn't played many positions. He was very talented as well. He played quarterback, AAU. He played a line and
a line?
Yes, he was on the line. Remember, he was tall. He had a growth.
He was tall, but he was never big.
But once you put them pads on, once he planted his feet, you wasn't moving him. That offensive line was, and he went to the championship every time he played. Okay. Once that oldest one planted his feet, no moving him. And his hands are huge, like twice the size. I have big hands for a female, and his dad, but his hands were huge.
Okay.
At 13, he could throw the ball 80 yards, easy.
Wow.
That's how I found out. His PE teacher, parents, be looking out for your children's gift, because that's how I found out he could even play. His PE teacher said, "You need to come to the school. I got to show you something real short." And I went to the school and I said, "Why are we on the field?" And he said, "Watch your son." And he threw the ball from the end zone, the goal line, all the way down to the 20-yard line on the other side. Straight spiral. Whoa. And I was like, what we need to do with this?
Right.
What we need to do with this? So parents, just be supportive of your kids. But Sabrina, if he has a natural talent, pray over that thing. But you're right.
I don't know that he has a talent for football. Now, basketball, I'm like, ooh, let me watch you real quick.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if I ever want him to. He came home one day and was like, "Mommy," this was when a couple years ago. "Mommy, I'm gonna be a boxer." I said, "The devil is a lie. You better put a box in the living room. That's the only box you gonna get."
Yes, Sabrina, it's not bad to let him do it so that he can learn to defend himself. Because both of my sons box too, but it was only for be able to defend yourself if anything came up. It wasn't to make them bullies, but I wanted them, because I was a single parent. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted them to know how to defend themselves. But as a career,
right? Yeah, I think it's a difference between self-defense defense classes and somebody bashing you in your head. No.
And then the people in the gym would tell you this child got in talent. Maybe you should, or they would just let them, you know. But yeah, that's a mother's disease. This is a part of Spice and Hills where the women part.
Right. Sorry. I don't want nobody hitting nobody nowhere.
I really, now that I'm getting older and my relationship with God is getting, you know, it's hard sometimes to watch because it's so brutal. It's hard for me. I love boxing. This is it's football, basketball, and boxing.
Yeah, Gwen loves boxing.
It's getting hard. That's
really?
all I'm gonna say. And I can't do MMA.
MMA. Yeah, we were out at the.
I had a front row seat when we went to Vegas to an MMA. Regular fighters, nobody that you would know, just regular $25 ticket. It was blood on the mat. You can hear that punches and bones crushing. I was like, I got to get out of here. It is so bad, Sabrina. They offer you a raincoat if you're sitting on the first row.
No, that's no.
Now, this was 10 years ago, but this is a true story. I was like, I'm out. And now to just watch it, you can hit to sit front row and to hear flesh getting.
Yeah, we were in the Red Robin the other day and they had the TVs on and I looked up and it was a MMA fight on, and I said to my son, would you do that? He was like, I forgot what he said. He said, I don't know, but it was too much. I'm like, they are kicking each other, and no. Can we just sit down?
Anytime you get that cauliflower ear, your brain's done been beat up. All of them have that ear that look like a cauliflower sprout, whatever it's called. Man, that means somebody done pounded you in your head enough to make your ear have a permanent deformity. Is that the word, Sabrina?
That ain't gonna work. No.
Who says? But
anyway, that was a sidebar conversation. Yeah, I don't know how we even got there.
But you got to get back on point. But yeah, a mother's love. That's what we're gonna call that segment. So Sabrina, what's up with JJ?
Right. So I don't know if you did, but I did not see him going to Arizona at all. That wasn't on my list, my short list. Not at all. And he got 2 years and about $30 million. So about 15 a year. And do you think he should have gotten that kind of?
No, that's too much money. I'm sorry. Maybe it's me, Sabrina. I can't be on. I want these athletes to get paid. Do not get me wrong. Somebody said when you hate it, they should make all the money they can because their careers is short. Okay, but you got to give me some bang for my buck. And I feel like last year, now his career before the last couple of years was great, but since he got injured, Sabrina, injuries do something to them. I don't know if they lack the confidence to come back full 100%. Or I don't know if they're getting older as they having these injuries, so something happens. But ever since he had that injury where he sat out most of that year, he hasn't been the JJ Watt that I remember. I would have offered his butt 10. And if you could do better than 10, I would have offered him 10 with a lot of incentive money bonuses. Like if you get over 10 sacks, you can have an extra $5 million.
I see.
So that means you're being productive in the game.
That's a good point.
You know, but to give him 30 million, nah.
I think it's fair only because it's a short deal. If they had said 5 years and however many million, I would be like, no, that's too much. But 2 years is like we recognize that your age.
Yeah.
And we recognize your talent also. And because of that, we're gonna put the two together. 2 and 30 or 31 or whatever it was. I think it's fair because it was short.
Okay.
If it had been longer, I would have gave him the side eye.
He ain't gonna do nothing either. Why?
He is. We disagree on this one. I think he is going to bring them up a notch. Now, he can't do it by himself.
Okay. In all fairness, the Cardinals don't have no defense. So any little one extra soccer game will be bringing them up. I mean, like going back to JJ Watt of yesterday.
Oh, no.
That's what I'm saying. If they're thinking they're gonna get that out of him, if he can bring in an extra sack or two or some pass rushes, of course that's who he is. But nah, it ain't gonna be that big of a deal. They still not gonna go to the playoffs. I think when you acquire a player and you bring somebody to your team, how does this person get me to the ship? That was, as an owner, that would be my question. How does this one player add to the value of this side of the ball they play on, and how does this one player get me to the ship? Like we had a sidebar conversation offline the other day, and we was talking about AB and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And I remember when Tom was in New England, he when AB left the Steelers, that's where he went.
You're right. We forgot
about that. So Tom always wanted to play with Antonio Brown. Always. So when an opportunity presents itself down in Tampa, that owner is listening to Brady. They might as well be partners in crime.
And you know what they said that recently that Tom done called all the coaches a couple of days ago, like, let's plan for next year. It's March. This man said, I want to plan for next season now. That is a mindset right there.
Because in his mind, they made it to the Super Bowl in a wild card position. He don't want to do that no more. It was too many games and too many chances to lose. We almost got him.
Yeah, he ain't used to that. He used to come out the number one seed.
Skipping that week, having all home games. You know, it helps. And praying to God that we be back to some form of normalcy this football season coming up. They're going to be people in the stands cheering for their Super Bowl champions. Yep. That helps them.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, for him to go to the ship in the wild card position was scary for him.
Yeah, used to that, boy, having to fight his way
through. So, of course, I'm telling you, him and that owner sit down and go, what you need, bro? What you need? You know, who you want now? Because now, like we said, Odell is fishing, sniffing, putting his deal out there. Let me get everybody want to play for the Bucs now. Yeah. You are 33%. Look at Tom career. So 20 years he played, he done been to the Super Bowl 10 times. Right? So you are guaranteed a 50% chance of going to the Super Bowl if you are an NFL player that plays on the team with Tom Brady.
Yep.
I will rent my mother out for a day to get a position. If I was a football, come bring a 50% chance, Sabrina. You could be the backup punter and get a Super Bowl ring if you on Tom Brady's team.
See, let me tell you something. We've kind of had this conversation before. We didn't go all the way in. I remember when Kevin Durant left, what was it, Oklahoma City?
That's right.
To go to wherever he went. You know, I don't know basketball.
But he went to the Golden State Warriors.
Golden State Warriors. I was so angry about that. To me, that is a sellout move.
But LeBron did it twice.
That's a sellout move too.
Sabrina, you cannot stay with an organization that's not giving you the pieces that you need. You are KD is now. I ain't gonna say this last year, but when this was happening, he was at least one of the top 3 players in the NBA. You had LeBron, you maybe had Steph Curry, and then there was KD, in my opinion, top 3. And he wanted the ring, Sabrina. Oklahoma City they traded James Harden away. Westbrook battling for the ball hogging like Kobe used to do.
So in other words, they ain't have the pay.
They had the pieces, and his mama told him, you need to get up out of here.
Oh, I know Mama Durant one.
Yes, she the one that told him, you need to get up out of here. Because you're not gonna get nowhere with them, because they kept rebuilding. They let Serge Ibaka go. All the pieces that they had. This is what I don't understand. If we go to the title game with this team, as an owner, I'm keeping that team. Because if you went that far and you lost by 1 game, that same team could get that far. It seems like as soon as they get that far, then everybody want all the money. I'm with the team.
Right. Everybody gets a big
Durant knew he wasn't going back with Westbrook.
Okay, alone. Maybe I take that.
He had to get out now.
It seems like
he did go to a power stock team.
Okay, here's my thing.
But they needed him to beat LeBron. They were weak in that position. So it made sense for the Golden State Warriors to get Durant, because Durant could play the 4 and the 5. And they were weak in that position.
Here's what I'm saying. Maybe this is what I'm saying.
What you saying, Bane?
I don't know, but here it is. I'm just putting it out there as it's coming to me. I understand leaving your situation for better because you don't want to stay in a stuck situation. That's a word too. Anyway, see how a word come out every week?
You don't know on how many levels right now. You just minister to everybody. That can go to job, personal
relationship,
your church. That can go to the so many things, but go ahead, Sabrina. Preach, girl.
You don't want to stay in a stuck situation.
Come on now, Bean.
But that's like saying, I don't know. I think it's like people leave the players leave the situation or the team that they're with, and they see which team is the biggest and the brightest and the shiniest and the closest, and I'm just going to go there. So I understand they wanting to do better, but I think it's something about going to a team that you can help them build, and you look back and like, we made it, we did it. So
he did, Sabrina. The year before he went there, they lost. The year before they went to the final, they lost. They was not beating LeBron. LeBron had them foot to the mat because he could outplay everybody in that 4 and 5 position. They needed somebody that can give them an opportunity. So they did win a couple of championships before KD got there, but they weren't winning no more without him because you see, he gone now, and watch what happened. They ain't getting no more. So he brought value to that team. I want him to go to the Golden State Warriors? No, I wanted him to come home. Right. Use time, you know what I'm saying? But right. Golly, he got it. It's done. Moving forward. But Sabrina, he did bring value. I'm not
saying that he didn't bring the value.
I wasn't happy with that move too. But who leaves let's be real, like you told me the last couple of this would put in the real world.
Okay.
Who leaves the job that they're in, where they struggling and is not communicating, to go to a new job with worse issues?
Okay, yeah. Thank you for bringing.
Or you can go to a job where we know this company is Fortune 500, top 50 black places to work in DC.
Right.
They pay their people well. I'm gonna get the money. I'm old, and I'm gonna be in a newspaper as this. They got all these. Good
you convinced me. You right. I get it.
I'm telling you, Sabrina, I don't agree with where he went, but I get it because they all want to win. Now he got 2 championships. Now he can woosah. You give it us. I think once you get that first one out the way, they come off for that. I was hoping the Philadelphia Eagles fans will calm down after they won, because that's why I thought they were so mean or so angry. But that's just who they are. They just nasty fans, if you ask me. But I think it's so unfair that you can't go to their stadium like people can come to ours. It's so unfair.
No, I think it's smart. Don't be coming up in my house buying up all my tickets.
They hit me in the head with a battery. Somebody all spit on me.
You never told me that.
Sabrina, I never told you when I went to the game at the stadium, me and 2-3 other co-workers went. No. I had on my Cooley jersey.
Oh, that's the first.
Oh my God. Nobody told me. This is the same time they beat up Chief Zeke. Yes. I was at that game.
Yes.
They spit on me. They hit me in the head with a battery. I still got a knot right there to this day. I had to take my jersey off, and then from the people that was sitting around it, and just so happened our seat was the seats when you come out of the tunnel. So anybody walking past could see my coolie. All of us had on Redskin jerseys.
Right.
We took them jerseys off 5 minutes after that game started. After the first quarter, we was out of there. We went shopping. It didn't let up. They got a jail at the stadium. It's okay for you to be for your team, but don't beat up on women. And these were men.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh my God. It was like, we're just going to enjoy the game. They was like, take y'all. They start doing the slur word, everything. I'm like, this is so unfair.
But I think it's fair. I think it's smart for them to say, we don't want our stadium to be half full with the other teams fans. I think that's smart.
If other team fans come, you should let them enjoy the game. You don't. They beat up Chief Zeke. That man was 80 years old when they beat him up. Sabrina. All I saw was him popping up on the stretcher, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, Chief Zeke. For those who don't know who he is, he was like the Redskins. I want to say mascot, but he was older black guy. He wore the full red.
Put your picture up there when you and Zeke, Sabrina.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Post that picture right now.
So that's Chief Z right there, but they beat him up, an old man.
He was like 75 when that happened. And soon after he got it, they looked around, who next? We got ghosts out of that stadium. You heard me? They were looking around, who next?
That's sad. What they say, the city of brotherly love. There wasn't too much love.
Right. Now my boy Skip done got paid now.
$32 million. Imagine, okay, we sitting here, we're having fun, right? And of course, we're not Skip Bayless. We're not journalists. We didn't go to school for this. We just having fun.
Exactly.
But imagine somebody said, Gwen and Sabrina, we're going to give y'all $32 million to sit here and talk. I would talk till my throat went dry. I would talk till next year. $32 million.
I hate when people say this about me, but it's true. I talk too much already. I love to talk. That's my form of love, communication. I'm a giver and I communicate. you could pay me $2 million. This Zoom ain't never going off. This will be the longest running Zoom in the history of the world.
They're gonna be like, that's enough.
What? You can pay, I ain't gonna lie, 200,000. I might
Wait a minute.
on Saturday.
Wait a
You know
minute.
what I'm saying? Sabrina, $32 million. And I'm gonna be honest with you, he not my cup of tea. I love me some Shannon.
You
And I
know what's
love
funny? We talked about that. I was not a Shannon Sharp fan when he played because of his mouth. But now it's his mouth that I like.
As
Like
an analyst, Sabrina,
the way he tells stories, the way he breaks things down and uses analogies. I love to hear Shannon speak on topics, but yeah. So yeah, we like
pulls you in with that story. It pulls you in. But Bayless, I feel like it's a pain in my throat because for one, he a Cowboys fan.
Number one.
He a Brady fan. Like everything he stands for, I'm totally against.
Right.
I fell out with him over Kaepernick. That's all I'm gonna say.
Gotcha.
I don't care if you was green. You would have to be crazy not to see that was deliberate. That's all I'm saying.
But you know what? People see life from different perspectives.
That's true.
And even though I agree with you, absolutely, I think it was deliberate that he's no longer in the league. Some people grew up the land of the free, the home of the brave, riding horses. They cowboys. They live in the Midwest with them flying the flag every day. And you better kneel when the anthem come on. You better shed a tear every time we sing the anthem. If you don't stand up and put your hand on your heart and feel something, you're not a true patriot of America. You have to realize people come from different perspectives. And so even though we see it, like to me, it's deliberate, what they did to Kaepernick, some people like, well, he should have kneeled then because he's not an American.
I get that.
So
I can't agree. I can't disagree. I cannot disagree with you. But I tell you this. I wish he would have stood and then kneel at the end in solidarity.
Oh, I see.
I wish he would. He could still respect and do both because a lot of Black and brown people get their lives every day to protect us. Let's just keep it real. And you got some people doing the other stuff, but they do. So you have to honor both sides. You have to honor the fallen on both sides. Like, yeah, I fell out with him with Kaepernick, but great point, Sabrina. I'm gonna think about that. We're gonna do part 2 next week next time on that one.
We have to get into some of these outside issues.
Right, you're right. If they didn't have that experience, how would they know?
Right. Now,
Brees almost caught it. Well, I to be honest with you, Sabrina, I think that's why he about to leave. Because a couple of his, even though they all fake and said we forgive you, because he had some choice words about that anthem thing. Remember that?
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
And I think I'm gonna be honest. They was nice to him.
They was about to go in on him.
They was nice nasty. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Nice nasty. So
I know people gonna get me for saying this, but I felt a little bit bad for Drew because again, he's coming from that. His grandfather was this in the army or whatever.
How many people in our family we had? I don't know if you knew this because I did the ancestry thing, but our great uncle died on the USS something. He died on the US something. Yeah, he had family members that granddaddy was a cook. Everybody, because back in the day, you did that. You went to college, you got out, or you went in the service.
Right.
So I have, especially on my mom's side, they all served in every branch. I have four active members right now in the service. So that's what my family does. But I can't put up that side and let that side go. You have to find a happy medium.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Drew, what I was getting at was that I think Drew is a decent dude. Like I don't know him. He seems like a decent dude. So I think he was just coming from the love that his grandfather, his father put in him. He spoke too quick.
Exactly. He should have thought about, see, this did it here again. There go my no person in my circle. Yeah. I'm Drew Brees. I'm about to make a statement. The no person, don't do that unless you run it by me, because the no person would have looked like me. Because remember, my no person is going to be
opposite,
total
of you. Yeah.
Only thing we're gonna have in common, we're gonna both love the Lord. How about that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So my no person is gonna be total opposite. So his no person would have said, "Don't do that. Run it by me."
But I think they were in the middle of a conversation. He was
You ain't got to answer. Woosah. Take a 5-minute pause. That's what I do now, Sabrina. I learned this. My therapist told me 5-minute pause will keep you out of trouble. If you ever have to tell somebody, I hope this don't offend you or don't take this the wrong way, then that's something you shouldn't say, or you should pause before you say it. If you got to start a statement with I hope this don't offend you or don't take this the wrong way, but I'm like this, I'm out of this comment. I tell people all the time, then stop right there. Because that's an area that we do not want to go in. Because once you get me to 10, it's hard to bring me back. He should have paused. You said it perfectly. He just spoke out of turn.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I think people made him out to be something maybe that he wasn't.
But during that time,
right,
the country was on high. You know what I'm saying? So it just made more like, ooh, look at even Drew. Somebody I thought would never. You know, because he was such a good dude. Like during Katrina, he donated millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah. Even though you can be a racist and still donate.
I get it, but
I don't think Drew was a racist. Let me be clear.
How you be a racist if half of the team don't look like you? 90%, 70% of the NFL are Black and brown people. Yeah, it'd be hard to be a racist, and I know there are some, but it would be hard. I couldn't not like this person. See, Sabrina, this is take this one part of the show. I think it's two types of racists. It's a true racist don't want to have nothing to do with you. That's a racist. But then you have other people, including Black and brown people, towards Caucasians.
That's what I was gonna say. Can you be racist?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Trust me. Yes. Because I was told if they can't use my comb, don't bring them home.
If they can't use my comb,
don't bring them home. Yeah, and so long story short, but you could be on the line with somebody and love that person, but if that person had to pay up, now would you let that same person date your sister?
Good gracious.
And that's where it comes into piece. I don't think people are inherently racist off the bat. Like you accept everybody, but if that thing had to come into your immediate circle,
that's
when flags go, oh, you like them from a distance. I love them. If you can count how many opposite friends of you than you have, and maybe, some issues. But I'm a true believer of God. It be all the same.
Yeah, and I feel like people are people. Like right now, the church that we attend, our pastors are Caucasian. Love them. Like we had them over for a group thing. I think
they are I had the most fun with them.
And my point is, people are people. Either they're cool or they're not, and so it doesn't matter what they are. Yeah. Okay. And speaking of Black, white, and whatever, we just want to give out a little shout out for the first
Maia.
Yeah, Maia Chaka.
Now, if that ain't a sister, the minute you hear her name, it's a sister.
Maia Chaka.
African American official or referee. Isn't it
official?
Official in the NFL. And now I got to get Maia and Jennifer. And I want to do the Caucasian referee. What's her name?
Sarah. Is that her name?
All of them. That's what I'm gonna get on this media thing. Next season, me and Sabrina working on some stuff right now. We're gonna have different setup. We could probably be in the same room next time.
We've never been in the same room with this. I mean,
never. So we're gonna working on some things, but I'm gonna do my best because I got sad, and this is before we leave. This is my last part of words. The great note with Maia. I'm praying that, but can you sidebar real quick? Don't let one of them brothers try her. I think as a woman, you got to be on 1,000, but don't get in my personal space. Don't get in my face.
Yeah, and I don't want to make this show about race, but I'm
talking about being a sister, being a woman.
Right. Okay, got it.
Forget what color.
Okay, great.
Probably like
they're gonna try, and they're gonna try them, and both
know it because they try them in.
Somebody's gonna look and go, okay, they're gonna try them, but they're not gonna be happy. I
would have my hand on that flag like a cop should have it on when something about to go down. Something you want to say?
Say that again.
What you say? Oh, I thought not. Who was that? It would be like, she the worst official ever. She always throwing a flag. Flag. He was yelling.
Get together then. Act right.
That's why I'm not an official. But yeah, we're gonna definitely we got some great things coming up next season. Just stay in there with us because this is a candid conversation. A moment before we wrap this up, it's appalling to me that I had somebody to watch the show that I didn't know, and this person was like, "Y'all was one of the best, but I can't do it because y'all females."
Who said that? This is somebody you don't know.
Yes.
Wait, wait, go back. This is somebody that you don't know.
The male that I just met through my mentoring.
Oh,
so I only do females. I only mentor with females, and sometimes the females and the males get together, and so you meet the males, and we introduce ourselves. He had on a jersey. I was like, "Oh, you're a football fan? Check out, your girl. He's married." I said, "Your wife like football." He was saying how she has a hard time keeping up. I said, "Great, we got a tutorial, we got all this." I said, "You can check it out yourself. It's just not for women, especially, So when next fall, now speed up. Next, we meet every month. Speed up a month. We see him. That was one of the best shows. He saw the one when we did Vanilla Funk.
Oh, that's recent.
He was like, that was one of the most entertaining shows. That's where that extra. Remember we was filming where that extra one came from? That was his wife. We got a new member. So yeah, so Vanilla Funk. He saw the Vanilla Funk episode, and he laughed. He said, "I ain't laughed so hard. Y'all good." Da, da, da. I said, "Good. You guys subscribe." He said, "I ain't subscribing." He said, "I don't plan on watching." I was like, "But you just said you had a great time." He said, "Y'all females, I can't. It's gonna be hard for men to boogie down with y'all." I wonder, do men really feel that way? So any guys, please comment and let us know. Do you say, I know two females because I got one friend, shout out to Dougie Doug. He was like, "Y'all know what y'all talking about." And I was like, "Thank you." He was like, "Y'all was really on it." I was like, and that helps. So when I selected people to be our testers, I picked both. I picked football people, non-football people. I picked male and female. I picked different ethnic groups because you want to appeal to everybody. So that's how I feel. We'll get a good gauge on everybody. No negative comments, but it seems to be with the men, they don't tune in as much as the females do.
And what ticks me off, you said this before, and what ticks me off is when people assume that because we do keep up with Stephen A. and Skip and Shannon and all the people, anything that we say, it came from them. No, it did not. No, it did not. We have our own thoughts. It just so happens that something that we say may jive with what they're saying because we know the sport.
I put it in this analogy. Somebody said that to me. I said, "Okay, take this analogy. I watch Skip and I watch Stephen A. And they go, Tom Brady is the GOAT."
Right.
Is that not true? Any analyst in the world is going to say this. So just because I said it doesn't mean I'm following them.
Correct.
If something pertaining to football is a truth, then you have to say the truth. It's who is known as the best. The biggest argument I had with one of my friends was about Ronnie Lott.
Okay.
That dude got a Super Bowl ring on 4 different teams. How can you not say that he is the GOAT of that position?
Correct.
You have to. So we got to do a show about that too. We want the GOAT of every position. How could you not say that?
Right.
He's the GOAT of that position. He's safety, right?
He was a safety and corner. He was.
See what I'm saying? Come on and play both.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I say. Things are going to be repeated because it's the truth. And if you know anything about football, you're going to say something similar. I try to speak from a DC, from a female, from a Gwen perspective, but it still comes out the same. As much as I dislike TB12, he is the GOAT. No ifs and buts about it.
Whether you like it or not. Yep.
So that's where we are with that. So I just said that to say, please understand and give us a chance and let us grow and grow with us. Please tell people that you know about football so that we can grow ourselves. Because that made me sad. You just not going to give us a go because we women. How about you tune in and say, "Gwen, I don't like that comment." Well, you may disagree or not disagree, but it's football. Why should it matter?
Right. Put the male, female out of it. Tune in from the sake of the sport.
Exactly.
Leave comments about, "I didn't agree with that," or "I agree with that," or forget the male female part. Do you enjoy the show? If you say you enjoy the show, watch. If you can't stand the show, then don't watch it.
Exactly. But don't say I'm not going to watch because y'all women. So we come to another end of the show. Thanks everyone for joining us. We hope you had fun. We hope you laugh. We hope you comment. We hope you tell someone about us.
Yes,
Look forward
please.
to talking to you next week. Thank you. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Love someone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.